Happy Friday to everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So happy to have you all here for our Friday lunch and learn. And we are going to be talking about mind and motion, how personal fitness can enhance our mental health. We have a special guest with us today, Coach Ray Morrison. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, my darling. How are you today?
I am wonderfully well, wonderfully well. Thank you so
Good.
much for
Thank you
coming.
so much. Thank you so much for the invite. Good to be here.
Yeah, this will be a good kickoff for the weekend as we all prepare to get loose and we lose all control. But you're gonna help to keep us focused and on the right path and how we can keep our personal fitness goals and enhance our mental health.
There you
So
go.
tell us a
There you
little
go.
bit about you, and then I'm going to let you just go at it.
Okay.
Jump right in.
So, yes, for the last 3 decades, I've operated in the fitness space in various capacities. In fact, my appreciation of activity and athletics started long, long ago from a young lad. So I grew up on these beautiful beaches, enjoying the outdoors, enjoying playing sports, et cetera, et cetera. And that led to later on in life, of course, going into the hotel sector, where for some time, the various opportunities that were provided actually centered around recreational activities, right? And so I would have had the good fortune, for those of us who can remember the Crystal Palace Hotel, working there some time. And if I may go back just a little bit prior to that, I was in the water sports industry. And so teaching sailing and Hobie cats and all of the different non-motorized water sports activities was a part of it. But then that translated to me working for the what we then called the activities department. And so a part of that was being able to work for their fitness center. And so naturally being a fitness buff, this was right up my alley. This would have been perhaps early 1990s, but I spent several years working in this department. And the great thing about working in the hotels is that they have the resources, the means that is, to allow you to do training. So I would do the various courses on fitness and nutrition and so on and so forth. And so my love, my appreciation for being in that industry took on a different turn. Um, there was also opportunity to work along with persons, coaching, counseling, that sort of stuff. And so, again, another passion of mine. And so we had the then Cable Beach Hotel, or sorry, Crystal Palace Hotel, had this fitness and what we refer to as the racket club, where you can come and play squash and racquetball and that sort of stuff. But we also had a designated area that had weights and that sort of stuff. And so we also enhanced the area, that space, by providing aerobics and this sort of stuff as well too. Subsequent to that, I got involved and got interested in the martial arts. And so that for me took on a whole life of its own, The beautiful thing is that, you have the ability to work with a team or a group of persons, your tribe, if you want to call it that, right? And as I grew, I began to appreciate more and more and more what it meant to really not only have to be physically fit and that sort of stuff, but it carried over as it relates to what's going on inside, and that took me to a whole different place altogether. And so, for like I said, 3 decades in and around the fitness community, putting on events, seminars, that sort of stuff, and still going strong at 55.
Good stuff. Because I
Yep.
know, boy, at 55, you start to feel your body.
Well, that's
You feel
why,
these aches and pains.
yes, but maintenance is important, movement is important, right? And so I
Yeah.
always tell folks, it's always been my determination to age gracefully, right? I want to still be able to bend my toes and bend and touch my toes and do some things, you know. And so it calls for being mindful in that, you know, as you get older, you perhaps won't be as vigorous with regards to the activities that you could have done when you were in your 20s, right? But the idea is to be moderate in your approach. And of course, you want to be safe, right? Um, I wouldn't recommend if you are somebody that's a late bloomer or late starter as it relates to fitness, jumping up and just going wild turkey, man. You know, just going crazy.
High impact aerobics and
Yeah, consult
5K
your
runs
physician.
and
Of course, of course. You know, because you have to take care, and it has to be a balanced approach.
sounds good.
Yep.
So for the busy professional, we have been focused on the busy professional all month long
Right.
for Mental Health Month Awareness 2025. And, you know, a lot of us, myself included, would say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I just don't have time, right? Especially when we think about traditional ways that people tend to work out. Either it's getting a gym membership or it's walking in the neighborhood or some sort of
Right.
thing, or joining some exercise group or something along those lines. Is that a myth that we don't have time? Do we always have time to work out, to
Yeah.
have
So,
movement in our lives? And what's the importance of that?
okay, that's a very good question, and many persons struggle with this, right? Because who has time nowadays anymore to do anything? There's never enough time in the day, right? Um, and as I think about my own experience, you know, it's important. This idea of being taking care of yourself physically, right? Um,
Mhm.
it's a responsibility that we have. That's number one, right? Health is your wealth, right? And so I oftentimes remind folks, you know, if you don't take care, you know, and it catches up to you, then of course, obviously, you know, you're going to have to pay the costs, whether by being in hospital, having an exorbitant bill, et cetera, et cetera. So it's incumbent upon those of us to ensure that we do our due diligence in taking care of ourselves. And for the busy professional, just like you schedule everything else, you can schedule the time, right? You can make the time. I am mindful that sometimes quality as opposed to quantity. In other words, a quality program that perhaps is 20 minutes, right? Maybe ideal. I'll give an example. A busy business professional, he has a stressful day, right? And he's dealing with all of the anxieties and so on at the job, right? Going for a 20-minute walk, right? During the course of a day, let's say in the evening when you're off, right? It reduces your anxiety, your stress levels, etc. Um, it reduces your high blood. If you're having these instances whereby your blood pressure is spiking, that aids in your sleep, and all of this wonderful benefits just from taking a brisk 20-minute walk. And so the idea is finding what works for you, right? And of course, buying out the opportune time, right? Um, in today's in this day and age, we have individuals who take the time to plan lavish trips and do all of these other things. But again, as I would have indicated before, your health is your wealth. And so being mindful of the obligation in terms of taking care of yourself is most important.
So what are some things then that we can do? I heard you mention walking. I know that there are lots of things on YouTube. You know, you can walk indoors. They have walking indoors and exercises. There's yoga, there's Zumba, other forms of workouts. What do you recommend for someone to get started if they haven't gotten started, or they've maybe started and stopped and they want to start again and they want to be consistent?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a personal preference, really, right? For myself personally, as I was said, I was smitten by the martial arts at a very early age. That may not be everybody's cup of tea, right? But you have to find out, like I'm working with a lady now, and she has had bad ankles. So she can't do the high aerobic activities that involves jumping, so on. And so sometimes it takes having a custom-made approach, a reality-based approach to how it is that you engage with fitness, right? The fact of the matter is that as we age, certain things happen with the body. Sometimes um, as you mentioned at the top of our conversation here today, sometimes there are injuries as you get older, et cetera, et cetera. But the idea is to find the activity that has a balanced approach that will give you the necessary um, injection in terms of activity, right? Ensuring that you can safely um, get your aerobic levels up, be able at the same time to release those endorphins, those wonderful endorphins that deal with us having a great mood, and so the idea is just to find something that you enjoy, whether that's tennis, whether that's going to the beach and taking a walk, right? There are many persons that prefer aerobic activity versus weightlifting, but there's other measures as well too. You mentioned yoga, and you can do yoga at different levels, right? Entry level, beginners, so on and so forth.
Good. So did you plan to demonstrate anything for us today or have us do anything? I know a
Well,
lot
as
of
you can
times
see,
we
go ahead.
we're sitting down a lot. I know that for the kind of work that I do, it's a lot of sitting. And
Right,
so when you get up, then you kind of start to feel like, ooh, I feel really stiff, oh, my neck, my back, all
right,
of these
right.
different things start to feel. So, what do you recommend for busy professionals through the course of the day? Some things that we could do to help to alleviate that and to incorporate perhaps small bursts of movement that
Mm-hmm.
kind of add up over time,
Right. So there's a fitness craze, I call it, that's been I've observed occurring regularly on the internet, whereby they're advertising this product or this program called chair yoga, right? And this is something that you can practice at your desk, right? It incorporates your breathing and incorporates like stretching, et cetera, et cetera. But this is one initiative that you could employ and something that you can utilize. We're also talking about having the ability that is to connect a physical activity with mindfulness and that whole approach. Well, what is mindfulness, right? Mindfulness is being in the moment, of being aware of your surroundings, feeling, understanding, sensing without judging, right? And so having the ability to um, not get caught up with your thoughts about the past or your worries about the future, but being present, right? And so practicing mindfulness, there's an exercise called the 4-7-8 breathing exercise, right? That is something that sets the nervous system. This is something that you can do uh, in a minute, and it calms you. It resets your nervous system, as I've said. But couple that with something like chair yoga, right? And so for a person that is at work, perhaps maybe having a stressful day, these two activities combined, right, has tremendous benefits.
I love that. I love that. And I think even breathing, deep breathing actually helps as well. It helps to shift your mood, to reduce anxiety, to, even to help bring clarity. I think a lot of times we are using our bodies and our brains so much that we get to this point of, you know, I don't really have any more capacity.
Yeah.
But when we
So,
incorporate in kind of interrupt that with activity and movement and things we enjoy, right?
well, mental health is of serious concern, right? And I'm sure that uh, persons may or may not have the ability to make the connection in terms of physical fitness, mental health, right? But they both go hand in hand. Regular physical activity has a profound and positive impact on mental health, right? And so the idea is it creates a strong mind-body connection. It boosts your mood. It reduces stress. right? It helps people with, like I said before, manage their anxiety, right? And so being able to incorporate um, 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 uh, the activity with mindfulness, whatever the activity is, right, is of tremendous benefit for us, right? And so I would recommend for a person who's endeavoring to getting into a fitness routine, right? Incorporating this idea of mindfulness is also very, very powerful. Like I said, you can manage your anxiety. It helps with managing your anxiety. It helps with depression. It helps with even other various traumas, right? But it's it's something that for example, when you talk about reducing stress, right? Physical activity it lowers your stress hormones, right? Like cortisol, and stimulates, we talked about the endorphins earlier on. So this is a natural mood elevator, right? And so you come out feeling euphoric, you come out feeling great, you know. And so having the ability to combine the two, right, is absolutely important. You talked about the young professional before. Same thing, right? He has a busy day. He's burnout. He starts by walking briskly for 30, 20 minutes in the evenings for a few weeks, and then better sleep, fewer anxiety symptoms, right? And a greater sense of control in terms of overall daily stress. So these are some of the benefits, right?
Right. Yeah. I like that. And Cleaver is saying in the chat that it is a struggle. So sometimes fitting in the walk during a lunch break is good when the day is busy.
Yeah, yeah. There's some misconceptions that folks talk about, right? Several common misconceptions that hold people back from fully embracing and connecting between fitness and mental wellness. And to clear some of these up would be powerful because as it relates to wellness, being able to have a whole life that ensures that you can have the benefit of exercising well into your age, enjoying an active lifestyle. This is really a plus, right? So
Right.
misconception, exercise is only for physical health and weight loss. Some people think that, some people believe that. But the truth of the matter is, fitness is just as important for the mind as it is for the body. Regular movement improves the mood, sleep, energy, as I would have mentioned before. Uh, uh, Emotional regulation, right? It also aids with that. There's no weight loss. Well, even if there is weight loss, right? The other side of it, mental clarity, resiliency, these sorts of things, the confidence, uh, all of this often improves with physical before the physical changes, right? So you enjoy all of these benefits before you even enjoy the physical benefits that you may see down the road. You follow what I'm saying? So that's a misconception that persons have, right? Physical fitness is only for the weight loss and so on and so forth. But there are other benefits there that are almost instant and immediate that you can enjoy right away. There's another misconception. Perhaps you may feel that an intense workout makes you feel better or it's better for you, right? Even a light, moderate movement, something, like I said, like a brisk walk, right? Stretching, dancing, all of these things significantly improves your mental health, right? Consistency is important. Consistency matters, right? So it doesn't, it's the intensity is irrelevant, right? And so the idea is to consistently get some activity in. And so at the end of the day, you're able to enjoy those benefits that we would have mentioned before. Yeah. Here's another misconception. And I thought about this recently as I was speaking to somebody. It says mental health benefits only come after months of working out, right? And again, I just alluded to this, right? The truth is, mood boosting effects can happen after just one session. And I'm sure you can appreciate that, you know, the changes in your attitude, your mood, the endorphins would have been released, and all of a sudden you're feeling great, you know. There's studies that show single workouts can release endorphins and improve your mood for hours. All right. And so just connecting the two, connecting the dot in terms of the physical activity and practicing mindfulness, this can have tremendous benefit for you, despite the misconceptions that some persons may hold.
Yes, I agree. So in the next few minutes, I would love if you could walk us through maybe a little bit of that chair yoga or something that we could do right where we are, right on this Zoom, to just kind of put us in this right frame of mind to incorporate movement in our lives as busy
Well,
professionals.
there is a backdrop behind me, so I can't slide my chair back anymore. But here's something that perhaps we can all do together, right? So this is a breathing exercise. I mentioned it just a moment ago, the 4-7-8 breathing exercise. And it's simply this, and it has wonderful benefits in that it calms you. In fact, before I came on today, I practiced a little of it, right? And so you can sit with both feet flat on the ground. You can put your hands on your knees, right? You can close your eyes if you wish. But what you're gonna do is breathe in for a count of 4, right? After you breathe in for a count of 4, you're gonna hold your breath for a count of 7, right? After the count of 7, you're gonna release, breathing out through the mouth, the breath, right? Again, stimulating the nervous system, taking in the oxygen. You breathe deep into the stomach, right? Into the lower abdomen, 3 inches below your navel, right? And this really calms you, it relaxes you. And so if you want to try that for a couple of minutes, right? And notice the change in your mood and your attitude, right? And how you feel, right? And has a very calming effect. In fact, persons who suffer from insomnia, right? This is a technique that we encourage them to use, and that has the benefits of putting you to sleep quickly, because what you're doing, you're really filling up your bloodstream with taking in oxygen, right? Right. And so the 4-7-8 rule, if that's something that we can practice and we can do on a regular basis, for those of us that have busy lifestyles, so on and so forth, I want to benefit from something easy, something functional, you can do this. The chair yoga, I've seen them advertising apps and so on, right? If you want to, again, just by way of an example, um, in terms of your abs, you can sit and actually do crunches by lifting the legs, alternating the legs, bring the knee up as high as you can get it. Just really basic. And what I like about it is these movements are not intense. They're not over the top, right? Very simple movements, but these are all things that you can do in terms of being able to benefit even while you're at your desk. So you can go on YouTube. There's lots of tutorials and so on that you can enjoy that shows you this sort of stuff.
Okay, so in our last few minutes, let's go and demonstrate the breathing technique and then a
Okay,
few of those chair exercises.
the 4-7-8.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the 4-7-8 breathing exercises for where I'm at. You can go along with me if you wish. So it's simply like I said before, you breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it, you exhale, you hold it for a count of 7, and you exhale, right, for a count of 8. Remember, keep your feet flat on the ground and your knees, your hands on top of your knees. So breathing in. For a count of 7. And then exhale for a count of 8. All right, so here's me doing it. And as simple as that. And so practicing this several times, doing several repetitions of this, right? It is in keeping you calm, keeping you relaxed, resetting your nervous system, as I would have said before, and tremendous benefits. If you're ever anxious, if you're feeling a little down, this adds definitely works as a pick me up. As I've said before, there's a petition behind me, a glass petition, so I can't really slide back far enough to demonstrate some of the chair yoga stuff. But again, there's lots of these tutorials about this on YouTube and other platforms that I'm sure you, your audience here, can also check out, enjoy, and appreciate for yourselves.
Okay, wonderful. So anything that you would like to, any closing thoughts that you want to leave with us as we, head into the weekend?
Into the weekend. Here we go.
And we may, so this is the time where we figure I need to self-soothe from the week, and we end up maybe doing ourselves more harm than good. So how do we kind of let loose? We call it Friday. We may do the happy hour thing or whatever, but how do
Of
we
course.
maintain, you know, relaxing, which is important, having fun, which is important, but also being mindful of our fitness goals?
A great question. And of course, the idea is to have balance, right? I mentioned before the breathing, the 4-7-8 breathing exercise, right? Something that you can employ anywhere, right? But a 10-minute mind body walk. What is that? It's a brisk walk where you leave your phone. You don't take your phone with you. You feel your steps. You sync your breathing and you notice your surroundings. My backdrop today happens to be this lovely picture of a beach setting. And so maybe going to the beach to enjoy something like that, right? Weave it into your weekend, right? The benefits are wonderful, right? The other side is, why does that work? Okay. Well, it combines movement, it combines mindfulness because you're in the moment, like I said, it reduces the cortisol, it improves your mood, and then it gives you mental clarity, right? And these are all things that we would all like to have and benefit and enjoy from, right? Um, the 1 minute desk reset. This is where you can do a little light stretching. You can roll your shoulders back. You can take in 3 deep breaths as you do this. You can close your eyes. Again, why does it work? Releases tension, refreshes the brain, it recenters your energy between or whatever task you might be involved in, right? And so these are small but very subtle things that we can do, but these can be they can have very profound benefits. And so you don't have to do more, you just have to do what matters more often, right? And so taking care and making this connection from the physical side into the mindfulness side of things, it just makes perfect sense. Those things dovetail very, very nicely. So we don't want to go to one extreme or the other, right? But we want to be able to have a balanced approach with respects to fitness and mindfulness.
I love that. You said it's not about doing more, but doing more
You
of
have to do
what
what matters,
matters.
right? Yeah, more
Oh my
often.
gosh, that is really powerful. I love that.
Yep,
I love that.
yep.
Do more of what matters. So finding,
More
what's good
often.
for
That's where the
you and
consistency
doing it
lies.
more. Right.
Yep.
Right. So whether that is swimming, whether that is dancing, whether that is taking a stroll, spending time in nature, um, doing a workout. I put a few things in the chat for everyone, and these are again YouTube links. Beginner's chair yoga, an indoor workout, and they have so many different time frames. You could do 10 minutes, you could do 20 minutes. I'm going to challenge myself. So I'm going to challenge myself to get back on the wheel and to do some of these things until I get into really what I want to do, and getting into these more intense workouts that you would lead me through. But
But what
I
works
think
as well
just
too,
making the commitment.
yeah,
Yeah.
is having somebody that encourages you, finding a partner perhaps, finding your tribe, right? And once you become a part of a community, sometimes, oftentimes, that kind of gets us up and gets us going and propels us forward, keeps us going, right? And so the idea is, find what works. That if you have a good buddy and he or she enjoys the same things you do, such as the beautiful outdoors that we have here in the Bahamas, then of course, by all means, make more time to do that with that individual, make those wonderful connections, enjoy the outdoors, be mindful of the fact that you're taking care of yourself, self-love, right? That's important. And like I said, your health is your wealth, right? And so having this community or having a partner that you can rely on is also another wonderful benefit that we should consider.
Yeah, I think that's always good, and it helps to keep you accountable, because
Absolutely.
usually when one person is not in the mood, the other person will just push you and say, "Man, come on, let's go, let's go."
Yep, yep.
So I think
I had
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say in closing, I had a beautiful session just this morning with some folks, and the lady was saying something under her breath as we were finishing up. And I asked her, I said, what was it that you were saying? Right? I didn't understand. And she was talking about the fact that she wondered if it's okay to talk to herself. I said, absolutely. In terms of affirmations, as you're finishing your workout, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I want to resonate peace. All of these are things that we can practice, that we can engage in and incorporate rather into our practice. These words of affirmation, speaking to ourselves in terms of when we exercise and move and so on and so forth. And it just gives us a great experience all around.
Yes, I like that. I like that, and I think it actually ends the workout well. You've done it a couple of times with me, and I think it really helps to center you and to just help you feel focused and strong, you know,
Absolutely.
mentally
Absolutely.
strong as well as physically strong. There really is
Yep.
such a strong connection with that.
Absolutely.
So I think I was going to say that for the rest of the month, I'm going to issue a challenge to us busy
Uh-huh.
professionals that we commit to a minimum of 15 minutes a day of movement. And so
Yes.
I'm gonna publish that challenge.
I am
And
down. Yes.
all right, all right. And if there's anything, then we could maybe pop on another call in the next 2 weeks as the month comes to an end. Then I think that would be great if you're available to do
Absolutely.
that to keep us
Absolutely.
accountable.
It would be my pleasure.
Awesome. Now, please do share with everyone if they'd like to reach you
Sure.
for personal fitness coaching. Let us know
Sure.
how we can reach you. And if you
So
have
I
any questions, you can drop it into the chat if you do.
right. So I'm at the New Providence Martial Arts and Fitness Center. It's located on Shirley Street. It's just there in the Shirley Street Plaza. And I'm available for group sessions, private sessions. You can give me a buzz at 801-7751. That's 801-7751. And like I said, we're available. We are available for private sessions, but if you want to do a group session as well, in fact, I have one in another few days. We're going to uh, a sorority. I can't remember which one, but nonetheless, we'll be there and we'll be engaging in a personal safety seminar that has activity and that sort of stuff attached to it. And so feel free, please give us a call. We'd love to work with you. And like I said, we can personalize a session, tailor make a session according to your needs. Whether you want to participate as an individual or a group, it's entirely up to you. Just let us know.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much, Coach Ray. Thank you for this information that you shared with us today to help us to incorporate movement. I think you call it mind and motion,
Mind in
right?
motion.
That the movement, yes, the movement, the fitness will help us to maintain and enhance our mental health. It will reduce stress. It will reduce anxiety. It will increase our ability to get a good night's sleep, which is very, very important and something that more people often than not struggle with. If not getting to sleep, sleeping all the way through the night, I find
Yes.
is a challenge for some people, just sleeping in maybe 2 to 3 hour spurts. And so the personal fitness can help with that. I discovered, I think that the Lord just want me to get up and pray. So
Well, that's
as
good
much
too.
as I enjoy a full night's sleep, I recognize I have a different assignment
Yep, yep, yep.
because I
Nation
notice it
building,
happens
man.
at the same time. Exactly. So
Nation
when you get
building.
those little promptings at 3 a.m. and then that's not just regular. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah. But thank you so much for making time on the Friday, everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful Freedom Friday and that you incorporate some movement. It's Friday night, so get some dancing in, work up a sweat, have some fun, get this week off your back, and refocus in for a new week and a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much,
Yes.
everyone.
Thank you. Take care.